have a question, guys. When someone is deported, say when someone is deported from Kenya to China, maybe he's a Chinese person who has been deported from Kenya, for how many years does he need to stay away from before he returns to Kenya? Or which channel does he need to take or to use for him to come back to Kenya?
Tonight on The Sport, over the mysterious return of a deported Chinese national into the country. Shao Guiqiang is suspected to have made his way back into the country just a month after being deported in January 2022. Reports indicate that Shao landed in Uganda and drove back into Kenya, where he secured a tourist visa. Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki is now demanding answers from Immigration Department after Shao was involved in an altercation that ended up in court last week, popping the lid on his presence in the country. Hassan Mugambi reports.
In a video clip recorded on phone a fortnight ago, an altercation that ended up in court is captured. What appeared to be Chinese investors engaged in property row along Kindaruma Road in Nairobi popped the lid on possible underhand dealings at the Immigration Department. The person detectives accused of starting the brawl, Shao Guiqiang, turns out to be a Chinese national who is in the country illegally. Guiqiang was among 5 Chinese nationals who were arrested in January 2022 at a construction site along Mombasa Road and convicted of being in the country illegally. They were later deported in February 2022. Surprisingly, even before the dust settled on his deportation, Guiqiang is reported to have made his way back into the country after flying into Uganda and driving his way back to the country a month later. On his return, he secured a 3-month tourist visa, and in this period he unsuccessfully tried to appeal the court's decision. After this altercation captured on camera, this Chinese national was taken to court, where it again emerged that he was in the country illegally. However, under unclear circumstances, his deportation was discontinued and he is now in the country conducting business. Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has demanded answers from the Immigration Department on circumstances under which the foreigner illegally in the country had his deportation discontinued. Hassan Mugambi, Citizen TV.
I'm surprised that this guy was deported and within a month he was back in the country. Was the immigration asleep? And how did he even access Kenya if he was deported? So I just need to understand, how many years does one need to stay away from that country that he or she was deported from? I just want to understand how this Chinese person accessed Kenya after being deported, and what was his mission? Why did he have to force to come back after his deportation? I feel like Kenya, we take things literally. We are giving these people freedom to do anything they want to do in our country. I believe that if a Kenyan was deported from China, there is no way that person can access back to China. I'm wondering how this person accessed back to Kenya without him being noticed. And what was the immigration doing? We are giving these people a lot of freedom to take advantage of African countries. They think they can just come here and do whatever they feel like, whatever they wish, because we are very lenient. Yeah, we are open to anything. We are letting them control us, take advantage of us. First of all, it was an offense for him to even travel to Uganda, then to Kenya. That was one mistake. A good mistake for him to be deported back. After he was arrested again, what happened? The charges were dropped. Why? This person was already deported. It means you already have a previous, you did a certain mistake, you did an offense, and you were deported. You didn't even finish even 1 year, a single year, before you came back to Kenya. Then the charges were dropped. How? And you think it's just okay for a foreigner to come here and control everything? If they want to stay here, even after deportation, we allow it. So he keeps coming to Kenya. Is he on a mission? We are not asking ourselves these kinds of questions. We are just okay. We even go as far as dropping his charges. yeah, allowing him to stay now legally. Because the moment this person took a plane to Uganda, then a bus to Kenya, clearly he wasn't using the right channel to Kenya. Then you acquire a tourist visa, which we don't know how you even managed to do that. Well, we all know that money played a very big role. Yeah, all you needed to do was just pay, bribe someone, then your charges are dropped. We need to stop being used, guys. We are being used. Majority of African countries are being used, and they don't see. They feel like it's okay. It's okay for them to just allow these people do whatever that they want to do in our own countries. Things that we cannot do. If I was in China today, there are things I can't do there. If I was deported, there's no way I would access back to China. What mission does that guy have? Why is it that he has to be in Kenya specifically? Why not a different country in Africa? And why even in Africa? Why? Clearly, there's something that is really holding him here in Africa. He didn't even wait for at least a year. He only waited for a month for him to come back using an illegal manner, and still he's now free. All he needed to do was bribe someone and all charges were dropped, just like that. Things that you can't do in their own country. It's high time Africans wake up. We need to wake up and stop being used, guys. We need change. Yeah, we need development in Africa. Just like their countries, these people are very much ahead than us. We cannot compare ourselves. We have like 50 years to be where they are today, and they're still using us.